Welcome back, everybody. This is the PlayStation MVP Cast, episode 33. I am your host, Michael Vash, 7886, and tonight I am joined by That Gamer,
Hey.
the JLC,
Hi, everybody.
and the One Writer.
PlayStation Now.
Wow. Looks like 11 topics for tonight. Highlights include Destiny expansion and timeline leaked. Sony apologizes, kind of, with some PS Plus stuff. Resident Evil 0 remake leaked, or Re-Remake rather, and PlayStation Now subscription information, and it's happening next week. So, no video tonight, just didn't really have anything that I really felt like throwing up, and just haven't had as much time, but that'll probably hopefully come back next week with everything starting to kind of speed back up again. It's been a really slow couple of weeks anyway. But, so what have you been doing? Ryder, what have you been doing?
I recently beat The Wolf Among Us, and
Platinumed.
yep, I planned it. Also, I want to say I recently got the PlayStation Vita Slim. I got it for a good deal, $122. That's for the Borderlands edition. Currently, right now, Borderlands is downloading. But so far, I like it so far. I like the handheld. It's a lot thinner, smaller, like they say, a lot lighter. The screen, I thought it might have bothered me, but actually it's just fine. Especially since when I had the original Vita, it was kind of hard to play games outside in direct sunlight, and I can play this one just fine with no problems. And I have a small memory card, but eventually down the road I plan on picking up the 64, so I don't have to worry about my games.
Yeah, I got a 32, and I'm debating on whether I want to get it. I'm gonna have to start using mine again just to see if I can really get it going. I need to find a good grip for it. I bought one at one point, but then I found out it was for the Lite, or PlayStation Vita 2000 or whatever, so it wouldn't really fit correctly. So that was a bummer. Had to take it back. But what about you, JLC? Have you got a Vita as well now?
No. I'm always tempted, but then I know that I wouldn't play it. that's why I sold it in the first place, because sure, games started coming out, and a lot of games interest me, but I'm just not a person that plays on the go anymore. Before I used to play, but now I'm too busy. I'd rather play at home. When I'm relaxing. And for that I had the PS4. But
Yeah.
Going about that, I've been pretty much playing Grand Theft Auto 5 pretty much since I have to start all over again. Since remember I had a glitched game save, so.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so I'm doing that to try to get 100% and hopefully the platinum.
Yeah, just remember, cheaters never win, people. Cheaters never win.
Oh, okay.
Hey, I didn't say anything about you cheating. That was
Okay.
If you're inferring that, that's your own.
They should put that in every
problem.
game, like they used to put what is it? Winners don't use drugs. Back in the day.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm trying to think of what game that was, but I do remember seeing that in the game.
A lot of games, including like Die Hard. I remember in Die Hard it used to be on there right before the game started. I think it was a
Yeah,
requirement or something like that. But it
I
always
do
had the director
remember
of the
that
FBI.
screen. I do remember
Yeah.
that screen, but yeah. All right. Well, Gamer, what about you?
I've been playing some Advanced Warfare, as well as some Warframe.
Advanced Warframe and then Warfare. I haven't heard of Warfare. How's that update? How's it update, Gamer?
For Warframe,
Yeah.
it's going pretty well. I haven't messed around with it that much.
Now, I heard they completely redid the mods again, and so I have
they
a
keep-
sinking feeling that I won't be going back.
As soon as they get
unfortunately.
used to the one way, they end up changing it again.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I thought they were actually pretty solid in their mods. I'm really surprised they changed them all again, but whatever.
It's the Activision way. It's how they do things.
No, that's just an MMO. That's any persistent online game like that. They're constantly looking at updating stuff. But I don't know. I don't know what they did for people that already had a bunch of mods. Because I mean, like I had a pretty decent collection and some rare ones as well. So I'm kind of hesitant to go back and really get into it again after the updates. But maybe I'll start messing with it again at some point.
Yeah, I only mention it because of Destiny. It's like, oh, we're gonna keep changing things. We're just gonna keep changing. Just how Activision does things.
And we'll get into that more later. But I mean, in MMO games and persistent games, you do often want to change stuff to keep it fresh. But sometimes you can outthink yourself. So for me, I have been playing a decent bit of GTA Online. I spent part of last night and part of this afternoon once I got home. I spent some time trying to find some of the rare cars that have been cited. I'm having no luck, but
can
I've
you
got
even
a couple.
garage those?
Huh?
Can you even take into the garage?
Yeah, there's you can find what it is you can actually find heavily modified versions of vehicles roaming around. Like I've got a Sand King XL, which is the big 4-door truck.
Yeah.
And it's got I think it's got special suspension, and it's got a winch on the front, and it's got a bunch of it's got the roll bar thing in the back. It's got a bunch of mods already on it. And so if you go to sell it, it sells for like 17 or 18,000, which is a lot for a car in that game.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, but I kept mine. But you'll see several of those actually. There's I've seen I forget what it's called, but it looks kind of like a GTO. You'll see some with the engine modifications, so that you'll have this gigantic engine sticking out of the hood. I had 2 of those and sold one of those. They may only get you 14, 15,000, but I mean it's nice compared to most cars selling for like 2 or 3,000 or something.
Or $500.
Yeah. It's pretty ridiculous sometimes, but yeah, you just have to keep your eye out, because like sometimes they'll just randomly appear. Like I was looking for a Granger at the time when I found the Sand King XL, and like it was just big yellow truck. I mean, it was a gold yellow color. If you ever see a gold yellow Sand King, you'll know that's probably a rare one. But yeah, I mean it's definitely worth checking out, looking for some of those sometimes. But apparently right now there's a Sentinel that is like a bluish color and an orange color that has a bunch of mods on it. And then, or at least visual mods. I don't know if it has it don't have like engines or anything or turbos, but it does have several visual mods on it. And then there's also a Dubsta, I believe it's called, that has several of the changes on it. So
cool.
I was looking around for those because they can sell for a decent bit of money. Naturally, of course, when I was looking at that, somebody's like, oh yeah, you can only sell these every 48 minutes or something, and so it's really not a profitable way to make money, because in 8 hours you've made like 230K. And I'm like, yeah, but you'd be doing other stuff between these sales. You're not just sitting there. So
you can just steal it and wait in front of the shop to sell it.
Yeah, that's not what you're doing. Yeah, you just stick it in your garage for a little bit. But yeah, I mean, stuff like that all the time. It's gonna be, they're always finding something a little weird with GTA Online, and I really wish Rockstar would kind of give us a bit better. Like, it's kind of weird that we have to look for so many ways to make money just because of sometimes how grindy it can feel. They're getting better, I think, with some of the payouts, but they need to still keep tweaking things a bit, I think.
Well, payouts used to be better, but then they nerfed them, all of them.
Well, yeah, but other stuff they did better. I mean, I like when I'm doing when I have more than 4 people in a group, we'll do Titan of a job, and I mean that's like a 15K job easy, even if you do it fast. So, I mean that's you can make a bit of money. If it takes you a bit longer, then obviously you can make more money. But
then the problem is that once you make that money and you go and modify your car, it's all gone.
Oh well, yeah, you gotta build on that. But if you get that, maybe another mission or 2 lined up, you can get a good string going, and end up making a decent bit of money. but it's just finding the right missions to do. I'm hoping Heist will help alleviate that.
Oh, what is it? But isn't kind of the whole point is to be kind of grindy because they're kind of not trying to push you too hard, but push you enough that maybe you want to purchase certain things. Like,
Oh yeah,
Cash
but
cards, yeah.
yeah, but like I say, I'm not one of those people that like, oh man, they need to drop this completely and blah 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 blah. I understand they want to increase it a little bit, just for rarity's sake, just to make it a bit more difficult, have to have a bit more dedication to get to it. Like, I mean, they don't want level runs running around with the tank because the tank's like, $50,000 or something. That'd just be stupid. But I do think they need to tweak the economy system a bit just to kind of level it out just a little bit more. Because I think it's actually close. Because I have fun when playing the game, and that's what I ultimately care about. But it's just kind of frustrating that sometimes you'll do something that's like, yeah, what is that? I know playing games isn't that about fun. Anyway, but yeah, beyond that, not a whole lot. That's been mostly it. I have played a little of Dragon Age. That's been fun as well. But no drop this week. Apparently, we are going gameless again. Hopefully next week that'll change, and I imagine it will.
PS4 has no games.
Yes. PS4 has no games. Again. 2 weeks in a row it has no games. I can't believe it. But we do have some information on some previous games. Looks like we're finally getting that much asked for subscription service with PlayStation Now, Ryder.
yep. PlayStation Now has finally turned into Netflix for gaming with what people have been asking for since the initial launch of PlayStation Now, and that is a subscription model, which will be launching on January 13th, which is next week. It'll have a $19.99 a month or $20 a month, and there'll be a 3-month $44.99 price point, which if you kind of actually break it down, the 3-month plan would save you about $15, and also it would you would actually technically be paying $15 a month at that time frame if you're doing a 3-month plan.
Yeah.
So to kind of elaborate a little bit more on this, 102 titles of the original 200 plus PlayStation Now titles are currently only authorized with this new subscription model. For now, they said they're going to be adding more in the coming weeks, like usual. But does this mean that not all publishers are on board with this new pricing model?
It could be that. It could be that they haven't got agreements in place. Maybe they're still working on terms. It could be that they've thrown this all together and so that's why they're having trouble. I don't know. But I would venture that yes, it was probably more of a publisher saying, "Hey, we don't want to take, however much money we get based on that." And we don't really know what the terms to the publishers are. We don't know if it's. I think Netflix. Somebody was saying that if something's watched a whole lot on Netflix, the owners will get more money depending. And that's what I've heard. I have not actually confirmed that, but that's what I was hearing somewhere. And so, if they're doing something like that, we don't really know.
And
Go ahead.
And it is also confirmed that some titles, while not part of the subscription plan, you will still be able to rent them individually. Is this kind of strange to have two different pricing models still available, or stranger that the actual titles won't be the same?
Not really. I mean, that's kind of what I believe. That's kind of what whatchamacallit. What is that service? My goodness, it was the one Gaikai was supposed to be competing against.
On Live.
On Live. That's kind of what they were doing. Now I don't know if they still do it, but they had a subscription plan, and so I think it was like $19 a month, and you got so many games. I think it was like 40 or 50 or maybe even more games that you got for that price, and then other stuff cost a different amount of money. But you say they no longer do that, huh?
Actually, I'm looking at it. No, they're still doing it. It's just that it's called their bundle pack.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, it amounts to the same thing. I don't know if it has
Yeah,
as
yeah,
many
yeah.
games, but yeah, that's what they've been doing, and you know, I've seen other places do that as well. But what do you think, JLC?
Uh, it's PS Now sounds. I've played it. I've used it. During the betas and all that. Um, it's a good service, but I don't know about the price point yet. I think 19.99 a month, 44.99 a month is.
$44.99 a month.
A
Wow.
Yeah,
month. Yeah,
44.99
every 3 months.
every 3 months. Yeah, I think it's in the ballpark. I'll say that, but I think it should go a little bit lower because people are gonna be as well are gonna be paying PlayStation Now subscription. So maybe drop $5 from there. I would say, minimum, or maximum probably. I think it would be a little bit more reasonable. You paying PlayStation Plus and PlayStation Now subscription. Otherwise, I think the only people who are going to be attracted to this are people who either have the extra money or people who are not who don't have a PlayStation Plus subscription, and it's gonna and that's not a lot of people anymore. PlayStation Plus continues to get subscribers. I think they announced today they had almost 11 million subscribers to PlayStation Plus. So you know, drop a little bit the price point, and I think it'll be more fair for everybody, and there'll be more people, more subscribers, and this program will get on its feet running. Obviously, there's going to be a problem with price, with like you were saying, either if publishers are going to be on board this, and they're gonna have to balance stuff. But I think the price it's about fair, but I think it should be a little more fair, for the other people who might not have but want to be included in the service. Obviously we're not asking for free, because I know there are a lot of people who are saying, PlayStation Now should be free. I disagree. Obviously, Sony's gonna have to pay the publishers, for so people could try these games, So I think that's unreasonable to ask for PlayStation Now to be completely free or to be just added on to PlayStation Plus. But I think the price at least should be considerate of people who have PlayStation Plus. Maybe a deal or special or a small for people who do have PlayStation Plus. Maybe let's say $17.99 a month. It doesn't sound like much, but for a person here or there, it's gonna affect their. Is they're gonna be, oh well, that sounds better than $19.99 a month or $44.99 for 3 months. But I think Sony is so far has been listening to feedback, because I think people have been talking about the subscription model for a long time, and I think so far they've hit it pretty close as to the pricing. Now talking about games, you guys were talking about games. Yeah, I'm pretty sure that it's going to be changing frequently. Hopefully they add PlayStation 4 games. Obviously not right away, but hopefully they come right around the corner. But 102 titles so far, and it sounds great. For that price, that's you can't be beat right now. I'll just put it that way. Right now, for that amount of money, that many amount of games, there's you can't beat that price.
And some people, when if they look at it a particular way, there's some people who have Netflix and they subscribe every month, no matter what. So they don't do a one-hit wonder, which is what some people are looking at this when they see the price and like, oh, $19.99 a month, that's kind of outrageous.
Yes.
But then they're giving people, which like I said, I think the pricing is a little bit fair compared to what the pricing model was before. But
Definitely.
but then this 3 month one actually makes a little more sense, because if you're already going to be paying month to month, I mean, if you really like the service enough, if you're paying month to month already, it's best to get the 3 month one, because then you're actually saving money. Because then, like I said, when you break down the numbers, you're actually now only paying $15 a month. But I'm with you a little bit, JLC. I think if you're paying for PlayStation Plus, maybe there should be some sort of discount there a little bit. Like maybe not much, like what you said. Maybe with the $99 one, I'm on board with you when it comes to maybe it should be $17.99 for PlayStation Plus subscribers, and the same thing for the 3 month one. Maybe bring that one down to $39.99 a month, and that way it'll seem more like you're paying only $13, maybe $12 a month.
But you'd want it to be $12.99 a month, just to because you're taking $2 off basically. And
Mm-hmm.
you know, if
Yeah,
they
pretty
could do
much.
something like that, I think that would be a better model for them. That would put you actually under the GameFly amount for one game as well, I believe.
Yeah,
Um,
it would. Yeah.
yeah, so I mean
Yeah.
that'd be pretty good for them if they could do that. But you know, obviously not right now. That obviously could change, but you know, that's what I was kind of thinking. You know, when you guys started talking about it, I was like, you know, if they went more like $17.99, $12.99, they're weird numbers. I agree, but that would kind of work better to me than the $19.99, $15.99. I mean, it's not much of a difference in the you know, in the grand scheme of things. It's $2, but I think it looks better than the other two numbers.
I agree.
Especially when you compare to GameFly. It's like, hey, I could have a month of GameFly at, you know, $18, or I could have a month of PS Plus at 18, or PlayStation Now rather at $18, and have 100 games to choose from.
Exactly.
However,
I mean, it still looks good. It still looks good no matter what, because we compare the GameFly to PlayStation Now. While you do have a choice of thousands of games, you're only allowed to like try out maybe one or two titles a month, and then with PlayStation Now, apparently to what we read through the PlayStation blog about all this announcement, like you have a choice of all the games, and like it doesn't mean you have a choice of one game per month or two games per month. It's just all of them. You have a choice of all the games that
Well, yeah,
is
but I mean,
authorized with this subscription.
if you actually live near one of their distribution centers, I mean, they'll usually get you a game out in a day, and so I mean, you know, a day back or so, and as long as you don't have one of those really popular games, you know, you're probably looking at 2 or 3 days turnaround. So I mean, you know, if you play a game, you don't like it, you send it back. It's not really a huge deal, but you know, for people further out, that's definitely more enticing. Obviously, the caveat is you're looking at PS3 and possibly other systems later on, but they're talking about like PS1 and PS2. It sounds like.
Yeah, and I'm sure they'll bring out other titles in regards to the library, like what GLC said earlier, where maybe down the road they'll start bringing out the launch titles of PS4, or even more so for Vita owners. Maybe they'll start bringing cloud versions of Vita games or cloud versions of PSP games.
Right. And my other thing about it though is how are they determining what stays in that subscription?
Like
I
Q.
mean, yeah. So like, you know, I see like Final Fantasy 13 on there. Let's just say for some reason I decided to go play that, and instead of, you know, going to the store and buying it for $10 or whatever it is now, let's just say I decided to play that and I didn't have a PS3 anymore, and I really wanted to play that game for some reason. Then I mean, you know, that could take you quite a while, especially if you don't have a lot of time to play it. So I don't know. Like I'm. What if, you know? I don't know how it's working with month to month. Are they going to be moving titles in and out every month? You know, obviously you'd want them to be changing something, because if they, you know, once you play a certain amount of titles, there's probably not going to be more that you really want to play out of that group. But at the same time, you know, in the bigger games like that take longer to complete, I mean, you may want to spend 3-4 months off and on playing it. So I don't know. I'm really hesitant on, you know, jumping in with that just because of stuff like that. I mean, that was the same way when they were doing the beta, how they had games going constantly in and out. It's like, oh, well, yeah, but if you've already done a rental, it stays in your game collection or whatever. And that I mean, that kind of works. But when you're having a subscription like that, I mean, I guess if it went out of subscription, you'd have to go and rent it yourself. And that would kind of defeat the purpose of the subscription itself. So I don't know. There's still some details I have to find out.
I'm guessing that gamer is not interested.
On PS Now, no.
What?
No.
Yes, no.
He's not
Not even with that new pricing model.
The price is alright. It just depends on what games are covered with that price.
Right, yeah, and that's the other thing that I'm looking at the selection, and I don't know. Like, there's a couple things there that I can see myself trying, but at the same time, I mean, it's not something that I really, you know, see myself going and paying $15 to $20 a month to play. I mean, like, if I saw something there that, was kind of rare or harder to find or something like that, or they started adding some PS2 and PS1 games, and then I'd probably be more enticed to do that. But, I mean, like, just for example, like MX versus ATV Reflex. I think that was on the list of games. I mean, I'd probably try that. But at the same time, I'm not paying $15 or $20 a month to try that. I mean, that's just something else that, I would try. I mean, it's kind of like Halo on Xbox to me. It's not something that the system seller or a, subscription seller or anything. But if I have it, I would probably buy it. But let's look at... So Sony's terms of service was saying that they weren't really responsible for the downtime, Ryder, but they did something anyway about the outage over Christmas. What is that?
So while Sony Service has mentioned that downtime happens and that they don't have to compensate us if it ever happens, Sony has kind of gone against this order and will be adding 5 days to all who pay for PlayStation Plus and a one-time 10% discount code to all as a sort of an apology for the quote-unquote Lizard Squad outage. So is this maybe hopefully a sign that Sony will do things like this in the future to keep customers happy? Well, it kind of if you're actually going on the internet and go on the forums and stuff like that, some were kind of expecting more, like a free $60 game or 10 days, or I think I saw one time a year of PlayStation Plus. Where does it draw a line? What do you guys think about that kind of expectation?
Yeah, they should have given us a free PS4 to everybody.
Exactly.
Nah, I think those expectations are unreasonable. People were saying, "Give me a free game," I wanted 3 free games to be able to choose. People are, want too much, for this because as you stated previously, they don't have to provide anything.
It's 3 days, guys.
Yeah,
I mean,
exactly.
Yes, it sucked. It was bad, especially the time of year it was. But it's at the end of the day, it's still 3 days.
Exactly, and not only that, it's 3 days. They didn't have to compensate you, but they actually did. People are still pretty much throwing a fit because they did, and that's unreasonable too. People are saying you got something out of it. Maybe you don't care 5 days but you still got it. You still got those 5 days. So and that 10% off. So that's more than enough. They're compensating gamers for amount lost plus adding 2 more days and giving you a 10% discount. That should be more than enough. I've said it before. Sure, Sony and PlayStation do not have to refund you for anything. For any downtime, but it's good if they do. And right here they showed that they did. They actually care. They actually listen, and that only works to their advantage. People are saying, I wanted a $60 game. No, for 3 days of lost service, no. I understand maybe the breach, the original breach, that happened, a few years ago. I understand that, because sure, there's certain things they couldn't control, but they also messed up in certain parts as well. And we saw the lawsuits and all that came in that, and Sony lost because of that, because they could have done more. The problem here is they couldn't have done much to stop the attack. They could have mitigated it, but they pretty much did. Even the hackers were saying, all over the internet that Sony was harder to take down than Microsoft. The problem was that Sony didn't come back up as soon as Microsoft did. But
yeah,
these type of attacks, are hard to stop. That's how the internet works. So they're hard to completely stop. You can mitigate them, meaning it's gonna be a slow service, but it's gonna be working, averagely, or it goes down and it comes back up, but it's still gonna go down regardless, right? And that's pretty much what happened here. It went down, and 3 days later it went back up. Microsoft has a bigger network, has more experience, has more money, so their service went back up a few hours later after it went down as well. So, it's hard to stop these attacks. If Microsoft went down, Sony went down. If the Pentagon gets attacked as well, it's hard to stop these type of attacks, DDoS attacks. Doesn't mean anything. Any kid could do it. That's how the internet works. So, you got to give Sony some slack as well, Microsoft some slack. about these attacks. It was only 3 days, guys. Expecting a full PS4 refund because of that, it's unreasonable. That's what I'm gonna say.
Yeah, and the funny thing was, like, apparently one of them was arrested, and then what was it? I think Sony, Microsoft, both filed something with the FBI about looking into the ones that are in the U.S. apparently. So,
Yep.
I don't know if it was the information they got from Finest Squad. I don't know about all that, but apparently they are doing something about stopping these people from being dumb. Who knows what will actually happen with that one, but we can only hope, I guess.
Well, it all really depends on whose jurisdiction they're in. If the one that got arrested was in the UK. UK laws prevent DDoS in American laws as well. So if they find any American ones, they're able to check them down. The FBI is going to be knocking on their door. But if you go to other countries, some countries in Africa, some in Eastern Europe, some even in Asia that don't have these laws, then nothing's going to happen to them, unfortunately. So, yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
And, go ahead.
It is also stated that these DDoS attacks, there happens to be a tool that now the Lizard Squad's selling for like $6 a month, like a subscription plan or whatever you want to call it. So it's kind of weird.
Now.
Yep.
Yeah, and it's interesting that they're able to do this, because obviously federal government and all this are gonna have problems with it, but if once again, like I said, if they're out of their jurisdiction, there's not much that can be done.
Yeah, you can't go all Batman on them and just kidnap them or something.
I mean, look at websites like Pirate Bay and all that. The government's been shutting them down around the world frequently, and they're still up.
Yep. Some people on the forums and everything are kind of concerned about this compensation, because now it's going to be this expectation that every time it goes down, that compensation needs to happen. What are you guys' thoughts on that?
I'll say,
like every time.
Some sort of compensation would be nice, and I think it would be fair now to expect that. But if they don't, I think people should understand as well, because going back to the terms of service, they don't have to do it. Sure, the expectation is going to be there, but they don't really have to do it. But it's nice if they do, and they continue doing it, because it shows that they actually care about their customers, and that's.
Yeah, but my thing is, though, if they're continuing to do it, that means they're continuing to have problems, and that's what I don't want to see.
That's
I hope they don't have to bother ever again.
Yeah, hopefully.
But that's just the way it goes. We'll have to see.
Exactly.
But hopefully they won't have to deal with this problem going forward here.
They will. Hopefully not as hard and not as.
They will.
Yeah, people are always going to be on the internet, mess around and attack, with these type of attacks. Like I said, it's real easy to create these type of attacks. The problem is the strength of it, the amount of it, the amount a certain system network could take, and this one was pretty big. So Sony went down, Microsoft went down. I mean, it's crazy.
And yes, a tip for the future. If the PSN and Xbox Live or whichever are down, don't call 911. Don't do it.
Yeah, there was a story that talked about it where someone had called 911 and the person on the phone didn't even know what the heck they were talking about, and then eventually they say, well, just go outside and go read a book.
Yeah, that's all that.
Hey,
they were like,
dispatcher has a point.
About?
The dispatcher has a point.
Well, I mean, that's kind of like when I got a call when I was working help desk about resetting Citrix servers to make a vending machine work. I mean, the person there was just kind of like, huh? What's going on? What are you talking about? Are you on drugs?
and a lot of people give it, giving a lot of problems to the dispatcher. The dispatcher has a tough job. Has to answer all type of 911 calls that are, either legit or prank calls or, are completely, bogus, and they have to decide what they're gonna prioritize. Are they gonna tell somebody, okay, continue calling 100 times, with fake prank call, or they're actually gonna say, hey, don't waste our time. We actually have to accept more important calls because if people don't know, anytime you call 911, it goes the same way as a DDoS attack. You call 911, it goes straight to their network, and what happens is if they receive too many calls, you get put in the queue. And sometimes a lot of 911 centers around the country are full of and this queue is full. You may be number 30, waiting, for your 911 call, and you may not know that maybe the first 10 in front of you are prank calls, and it happens a lot. It's happened recently, and it wastes the time of dispatcher, and it could put lives in danger. And like you say, calling 911, you don't know what type of attack it is, you don't know what's going on, and you call 911. Your local police cannot do anything about it. Let's put it that way.
Well, I can't believe people are giving the dispatcher a hard time. They shouldn't know anything about PlayStation Network unless, of course, they're a gamer or something. I mean, I wouldn't expect them to. That's not part of their job. So, I don't know. Anyway, exactly. Another game has been removed from the PSN, Ryder. It just seems to be happening more and more and more. What's going on?
So in regards to PSN, were we talking about the one that's being removed, right?
Yes.
Yep. So after Marvel vs. Capcom Origins was removed, as well as Afterburner Climax earlier last year, it seems Scott Pilgrim vs. the World, the game, along with all of its DLC, has been removed from PSN. Of course, people who previously purchased the game can download still, no problem. As well as still buy digital codes from GameStop and Best Buy. I believe they have like cards or something like that. But it just won't. It'll be delisted from the PlayStation Network itself.
Yeah.
So it kind of makes you wonder: is this a trend now? Delisting games on PS3 from here on out? Is this going to continue and force PS3 owners to regret buying digital now? The games are kind of being taken off the store. So will this kind of discourage some, in fact, to even bother going digital?
I don't think so, because you get to keep it in your library, so you just can't buy it.
In fact, I mean, Gamer's safer than all of us with his all digital library. As long as the PlayStation 4 network is up, he's all set. Now, if PlayStation 4 network goes, I think he has two 100 terabyte hard drives in there actually. Two petabytes, I believe it is. 2 petabyte hard drive, right? But or no, that'd be 1,000. So yeah, 200 terabyte hard drive. But yeah, as long as you still have the PSN for PS3, I mean, you can obviously still download whatever it is if you've already got it. I actually think it's more to do with the licensing. Scott Pilgrim vs. the World, that I can definitely see being licensing because, the agreements for so long, they probably didn't come to terms. There's been no new developments with Scott Pilgrim. There's not likely to be since, it was just a 6-volume digital novel that became a movie.
Yeah.
So
maybe the license just expired.
Yeah, and that's what happened with Afterburner. I don't know about Marvel vs. Capcom Origins. I'm guessing the same thing. That had some kind of licensing issue that came up.
Yeah, it's usually licensing issues. I learned about that first in PlayStation Home. because you know how developers would create content, and a lot of original PlayStation Home developers disappeared right away, and the content that people bought, all of a sudden, there was an announcement on the forums, is going to be removed from the store. People could keep it because they bought it, so it's their digital content, but nobody else could buy it because Sony cannot sell something they don't own the licensing. They don't own the licensing for. So, whoever owns the license says, you know what, you can't sell that anymore, or we don't own the license. We can't profit from it, so take it off the store. So that would happen a lot in PlayStation Home, and that's probably what's happening here. Like you were saying, somebody doesn't own the license anymore. How can they make money out of it? Well, what's the point of having it up there?
They
can't make money out of it either.
It's not that they can't. It's that they're not allowed legally to do that.
Yeah, well, that's what I mean.
Yeah.
the legality about it. Yeah.
Yeah, and so, and the other thing about that too, is I was gonna get at, it seems to happen a lot more with licensed games, and the reason you can still buy those codes is because those are technically already sold. They're just sitting on a card somewhere, and so that's why they're still kind of out there. I mean, from what I can gather, when the card is made, it's activated, at least, on Sony's side, and then when it gets bought at the store, it's activated there on the actual card. And so something, some kind of connection between the PSN or Sony and the store talk, and they say, hey, code 123456 is good to go. And that's how it, ends up working. And I mean, the same way with PSN cards. I mean, I think if you technically take one without checking out, it generally doesn't work because it's not activated.
No, which is why you still get those spam emails on PS3 that same code to that if you send this message to all your friends, you'll get a $50 card. No, people don't believe in that. Don't believe those emails.
It happened a lot.
That used to be happening quite a bit, actually. And it's like, it sounds all official because it's like, someone from PlayStation, blah, blah, blah. And it's like, oh, yeah, sure, guy. Sure. Someone from PlayStation. It's like the guys the telemarketers or whatever that call, and they're like, I am from the Windows company. And I'm like, what company would that be? The company that makes Windows? And I'm like, you mean Microsoft? I don't think they call themselves the Windows company. They're like, oh, well, we just wanted to let you know that there is a virus on your computer. I'm like, so you're trying to say that you've been hacking my computer? I think I need to call the FBI. I'm sorry. But yeah, it's always entertaining to mess with those people just a little bit, because what they're doing, because them knowing that is technically illegal.
Yeah.
But so Tearaway Unfolded is on the horizon, Ryder. But you're wondering about Media Molecule, right?
Oh yeah. With Tearaway Unfolded on the horizon, it seems Media Molecule will be revealing their newest game this year via Twitter. It's kind of how we know, but strangely mentioned at least the I believe the creative director mentioned game in quotes, and someone on Twitter kind of noticed this, and again the creative director of Media Molecule, who originally did this tweet, replied, yes, well spotted, now why would I do that, and kind of had a smiley face. So what's with the secrecy? A job listing on Media Molecule's website did ask for a gameplay programmer for a super secret, super ambitious new super project, or whatever you want to call it. What does this even mean? With Little Big Planet and Tearaway, could this new IP be a new experience for all to us again?
So
let
me go ahead.
Tearaway Racing.
I mean, is it even a game? Like, that's what he said for a quote wise.
Are you guys ready for me to blow your mind?
Oh boy.
Half-Life 3.
No.
Confirmed.
No. Wait for it.
Okay.
Wonderbook 4.0.
Oh no.
Oh. You heard it here first.
That's right. I'm calling it now. No. In all seriousness, that would be the worst E3 announcement ever.
Yes.
Followed slightly only by the Wonderbook 1 announcement, which was very bad. But but yeah. when he was talking about it, I'm like, I gotta go with the Wonderbook. But no, I imagine it's gonna be something. It's gonna be something that is a little less gamey, maybe. Maybe it's something more like, like the thing they showed, in the PlayStation 4 review or whatever. That didn't really look like a game, so to speak, or maybe even an experience of some kind. So I have a feeling it's going to be something like that. I could also maybe see them doing something with Project Morpheus, but at the same time...
Yeah, I was going to say the same thing.
I'm almost wondering if Project Morpheus ever actually is hitting the PS4 for sure at this point. So, that's still kind of up in the air to me. I hope it does. I'm very interested in seeing it, but, I'm still not 100% sold that it is. just because technology and all that keeps advancing. But what about you, JLC? Any other thoughts?
I just want to see what comes out of it. I like Media Molecules games. So I don't know. Depends what comes out. I know how they like to make these games where you pretty much could decide and do your own story type of games. So it depends what they do. If they keep it Little Big Planet or Tearaway focus, obviously not focus those same IPs, but more PG-13 games. As long as it's interesting, I'll buy it.
Right. Same here. Ryder,
And
go ahead.
for me, I I kind of wonder because when they did that reveal, like you said, they had PlayStation Moves in their hand. They kind of didn't say it, but it looked like maybe the camera was being used as well. So maybe they're utilizing something with the PlayStation camera that's very underutilized right now. So who knows? Maybe it is a Project Morpheus, but if we can maybe go off that demo, maybe they're trying to bring PlayStation Move back. Maybe they're trying to get people interested in the camera besides using it for their TV shows on that one one program.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, and
one
on
app.
share whatever. My goodness, Share Factory. I think you can use
Share
it on that as
Factory.
well.
No, Share Factory isn't that for
No,
video?
it's the one with the robots. It leaves me right
I know
now.
which one you're talking about, but I'm saying I think you can also use it on Share Factory. I would hope so anyway. It'd be kind of dumb if
Yeah,
you
you can.
can't, but
Yeah.
yeah, I know what you're saying.
I forget the name too, Ryder. So
It's
okay.
yeah, I know what you're talking about. I'm blanking on it as well. It's
yeah.
Playroom.
Playroom,
Yes.
yeah, your new Playroom stream.
Yes.
Oh yeah.
And yeah, that could be what they're doing. It could be something, or it could even be something like the Playroom. But it's just gonna depend on what they come up with. But it's always gonna be interesting with being monocle. That's for sure.
Yeah, and the only reason I even mentioned that even earlier was that what was it? Tim Schafer and all his team, they created on 360 this quote unquote game, and it was pretty much them trying to find ways to break the Kinect at that time frame, but still be fun and laughable and considered as like I said, they even did it to themselves, quote unquote, a game. So maybe this is Sony's version regards to telling Media Molecule, hey, let's try and do something similar to that, or at least something that exceeds that. So who knows?
Yeah, could be. But I mean, it makes me think a little bit about you talking about that. Makes me think a little bit about the next car game on PC. That's the next game by Bugbear, and they have a sneak peek, quote unquote, and it's really just a playground where they have all this stuff that you can make. The cool thing about the game is the physics for the car, and so it's damage in most cars and games is. It usually looks okay, but it's not really dynamic. In that game, it is almost completely dynamic. So, you have a lot of crazy stuff happening with your car. And so they have a playground with all this stuff that they've been, I guess they used to test it or something like that. So, it's not really a game, but it's something fun to mess around with for a little bit. So, who knows what it could actually be at the end of the day. But we will move on. Resident Evil fans, you have something else for them, Ryder?
Resident Evil or True Crime?
Resident Evil. Yeah, True Crime. I'm sorry. True Crime. Activision has abandoned the trademark.
Yes. True Crime. Some people are kind of wondering if True Crime has now really died. It seems that Activision has abandoned their trademark as of the 19th of December, according to the U.S. Patent and Trademark Office. And some are wondering, has Activision kind of given up on making another True Crime game in the franchise? More so is it because Square Enix, Sleeping Dogs, quote-unquote, shamed it, or otherwise it was actually pretty good from the studio that bought them.
Yeah, I felt like kind of after they canceled True Crime Hong Kong or whatever it was, I think that's what it was called. I kind of thought that it may be kind of done just because of something like that. Um, Activision is very focused in what they do. It's more or less Skylanders, Call of Duty, Destiny now, and they have a lot of licensed games as well. Beyond that, I don't often see stuff that's not some kind of licensed game from them. I'm trying to think of the last one I saw, honestly, from them that wasn't a licensed game or one of the ones I mentioned, or some kind of past IP they had. Well, beyond the license, honestly, because they did Transformers, they did Spider-Man. So yeah, I'm not really thinking of anything else that they've really put their publishing title on, except for stuff like that and the aforementioned big franchises they have. They're all about turning profit, and that's what they want to do.
Yeah, I think that was the issue there. Trickheim didn't sell as good, so what's the point of keeping that and paying money and keeping that
Yeah, and
patent?
their controversial comments
Trademark.
about they don't think a video game female lead in a video game can sell as well as a male lead or something like that. I believe that's one of the reasons they were so hard on True Crime Hong Kong, because I'm wanting to say they were saying something about it starting with it started with the female lead, and they had them change that, and then they just canceled the project altogether, and it went over to Square Enix and who's that team? United Front, I believe. So
Did any of you enjoy True Crime?
I didn't actually get the chance to play it. Honestly, it was one of those games where it wasn't anything that really clicked with me at the time. I wasn't really into that type of game, so I didn't really ever get to mess with it.
Yeah, same here.
Gamer, you played it, right?
Yeah,
Did you like it? Dislike?
I enjoyed it.
You were hyped. Okay, hyped people. So that means you're not hyped for the fact that we're not getting another one, apparently.
We'll see. Hopefully, I don't know. Square Enix could build around that.
Yeah, see, I don't know how that works now, because so if the copyright or trademark rather is abandoned, I don't know if Square Enix can come by and be like, oh hey, we'll take that. I don't know how that works. Look what fell into our lap. I don't know how that works. So that could be the way it works. I'm not sure, but trademark and copyright law are all so odd to begin with. That could actually be the way it works.